Okay, I would like to call to order the meeting notice for today. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can we do the roll call, please?
Alternate Wall,
Here.
alternate Wu,
Present.
trustee Chen,
Here.
trustee Derry, not here, trustee Osaguela,
Here.
and vice chair Sadoon and chair Domeyer are not here. Thank you.
The agenda is posted 72 hours prior to each meeting at the following locations: City Hall, the Carroll Public Library, and the Stoneman Building. The agenda is also posted on the city's website. The city welcomes public input. At this time, the public may address the Library Board of Trustees on items that are not on the agenda. Pursuant to state law, the Library Board of Trustees may not discuss or take any action on issues not on the meeting agenda. To ensure that everyone, including those joining us remotely, are able to hear all speakers clearly, please speak directly into a microphone. I would like to ask Management Analyst Shigenega to explain how public comment will work.
Thank you. For each item on the agenda, there will be time for public comment. We will accept comments in 3 ways. First, we will take in-person comments for each item. Please fill out a speaker card and turn it in to me if you wish to speak on an item. We will then ask for comments from our Zoom participants. When we ask for public comments via Zoom, there are 2 ways you can let us know you would like to speak. First, you can use the raise hand feature, which is a button that's found by clicking on raise hand on the bottom right side of the screen. Please do not use this feature until you've asked for public comment, or else we may not see it or know which item you are asking to speak on. As a second option, you can send a message using the chat box saying you would like to speak on a particular agenda item. Comments will be accepted only until the end of the public comment period for that item. Please keep in mind that if there are technical difficulties with Zoom, the meeting will proceed as normal. The city will do its best to resolve any technical issues as quickly as possible. I will then read into the record any public comments received by email for that particular item. Due to technical limitations associated with gathering, printing, and sorting emailed public comment, the city has instituted a 7 a.m. cutoff, the date of a Library Board of Trustees meeting for emailed public comment. This is to ensure there is sufficient time to gather and present the emailed comments at the meeting. Any comments received after 7 a.m. the day of the meeting will be included in the public comment record, but will not be read at the meeting. Thank you.
Does anyone here wish to speak at this time? If so, please state your name and address for the record. I'm seeing no one. Do we have any public comment requests submitted electronically?
We do not.
The first item on the agenda is the chairperson's report. We will be skipping this item since chairperson Domeyer is absent. The second item on the agenda is trustee reports. Do any trustees or alternates have anything to report? No, I have a quick report. We still are working and super excited about our collaboration program with Crowell and the Carver Library. Now we do have our art teacher jumping in the wagon for some reference books that she's been wanting to acquire, but she doesn't have the budget. So we spoke with Tara Torres, and she's gonna try to find those books as part of the loan that we get from you, which we're so grateful. And on a not very, happy note, I don't know if you remember Mrs. Morris, Sandy Morris, our old Carver librarian. She passed away last week. She was at Carver for over 30 years. She built the library building, she built the collection, and I just wanna the board to know that the family is planning a celebration of her life on November 18th at 10 a.m. at the San Marino Community Church. And that's it. The third item on the agenda is the Crane Art Gallery Liaison Report. We will be skipping this item since Vice Chairperson Sadoon is absent. The fourth item on the agenda is the Friends of the Crowell Public Library Liaison Report. We will be also skipping this item since Trustee Derry is absent. The fifth item on the agenda is the San Marino Public Library Foundation Liaison Report. Can we please have a report from Trustee Chin?
I was not here, so I don't have a report.
The sixth item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Are there any questions from the board? No questions. I would like to open up the item for public comments. Does anyone here wish to speak at this time? If so, please state your name and address for the record. There's no one here, so do we have any public comments requests submitted electronically?
No request.
At this time, I will bring the item back to the board for discussion. Do I have any comments, questions for the board? Nothing, okay. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting on September 25th, 2023.
And we have a second.
I second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Alternate Wall,
Yes, I also approve.
alternate Wu,
Approve?
trustee Chen, and trustee Oseguela.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The seventh item on the agenda is the Director and Library Manager Report. Can we please have a presentation from Community Services Director Johnson and Library Manager Vera?
Good morning. Our report begins in your packet on page 10. And as standard, we begin with an update on our personnel recruitment and onboarding. You'll find some updates at the bottom portion of page 10. We have shared with you in previous meetings that we are in the process of onboarding a library assistant in our adult services area that will specialize in cataloging in the Mandarin collection. And so we are very, very close. We are awaiting some test results, but hopefully by next meeting, we will report that that person has been officially onboarded as a city employee. And then the other two bullet points there, recruitment continues for library assistant as well as library clerk positions. And, that's probably a standing item at this point. Unfortunately, our positions are part-time and we do have, folks that are balancing maybe putting two jobs together or pursuing higher education or, just part-time jobs are quite competitive in, municipal libraries. And so, but we are happy to say that we do continue to keep getting interest from qualified applicants for those positions. The next report that I will share before handing the microphone over to Linda is at the top of page 11. This has to do with our fiscal year end 2023 Q4 budget summary reports. You can consider these reports sort of a year-end report from our previous fiscal year. So those were attachments that were included in your packet. Hopefully you had an opportunity to take a look at it. I can stay extremely high level on this and report that we ended the year within the library division in a very healthy position. We didn't go over budget, so we came in under budget. On the first page of the attachment 1, we begin with our revenues and we achieved 95% of our revenue targets. The budget was $224,000. And if you move over to the yellow column, you'll see that we achieved $212,000 roughly. The shortfall was approximately $10,000 in our passport revenue services or passport services, excuse me. So, not really a concern for us. We are pretty much at our capacity for passport passport scheduling. To allow us to even expand in that area would be really tough. So we are, continue to manage that really important service that we provide. But next year, we will most likely bring that line item down to about 180 and budget accordingly based on what we achieved this year. Maybe a more realistic target. And then with our expenses, we easily made up that shortfall in revenues by coming in well under with our revenues. The very, very bottom line there, as you analyze and interpret, we budgeted the operating budget for the library to be 1.518 million, so approximately 1.5 million, and we came in well under. So that's can be viewed as a good thing or maybe not a good thing. We were unable to do some purchasing that we wanted to do, take care of some housekeeping items that we wanted to take care of, two of which we will be carrying over to this year. The first one being in our, let's see here, I'm going to get to the, under building repairs and maintenance. You'll hear a lot more, hopefully, as we move through the months this year about the carpet cleaning that we're going to be, now that we have our facility supervisor, Mr. Doperoy Damien, who you've met. So he is spearheading getting that scheduled, as well as the money that we set aside for furniture cleaning. We were unable to get to that either. That's that middle line item 17 for the 5,000. So we are, you can see we came in well under budget there. But those are two kind of housekeeping items that we are going to be pleased to report over the upcoming months that we're going to be addressing and being able to handle. If you turn this over, then our report also includes a summary of our donations fund. The green section at the top is the projected revenues that we had budgeted for. Donations are always somewhat of a moving target because donations are not always a sure thing. But as you can see, we budgeted 40,500 as anticipated donations, and we will end the year at 37,542. And then our expenses in the middle blue sections, line item 9 through 20. We came in well under budget for our expenses, and it really had to do with we budgeted to renovate the computer room renovation at 22,500, which is line item 10. Because of the community center renovation project last year, any type of capital improvement project that we do here at the library, we partner with our public works department and our city engineer. And because of the bandwidth really for city staff, we were unable to get to the community room renovation this year, but it did roll over to this fiscal operating year. And it is on our Director Shaw's radar. We will be working with her to see if we can, get that item prioritized. That is also a partner project with the foundation, the San Marino Public Library Foundation. So that is a summary, a high-level summary. If anybody has any questions about last year's operating budgets, anything you'd like clarified, or, you know, have any questions about, Linda and I are here to field those questions.
Thank you so much. And thank you again for all the comments on this side. It really does make sense. I'm just happy to see that, you know, quarter 4 looks like the staff has been able to acquire more books, to get back into the normal routine of purchasing and building the collection, as it was hard, you know, to come back from COVID with a shortage of staff. But thank you. This looks great.
Thank you.
And I was just glad that you have been on top of this maintenance for the building, and we do need to have maintenance to be updated, right?
Yeah, another thing that, you know, when you walk into the library, there are just things that jump out at you. And I want you to know that the drinking fountain, we're also dealing with that. This is an old building. You know, it's crazy to think it's 15 years old, 15 plus years old. So any of the equipment that was installed, oftentimes it becomes difficult to find parts. So that drinking fountain that you've seen the sign for a long time that it's been out of order, it's because they're having a hard time finding parts and finding a replacement part or a replacement unit to put back in there. But our Public Works Department is working really hard to run that to ground. And then also Damien is now on board to kind of help with some heavy lifting around, you know, figuratively with some of these smaller projects. So, you know, we're thrilled that we're going to be able to get all of these things addressed in the next, you know, short-term months, and that we can be more proactive in the future.
Yeah, I mean, those are not exactly a glamorous project, but to have everything working is important.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we are just pleased that we have the new position. It's going to make a world of difference. And then our librarian staff can, you know, they had to then shift some of their duties and responsibilities to focus on facilities items where that really isn't their expertise, and they're really their value proposition to our operation is utilizing their skill sets to procure a stronger collection and a more robust collection, a well-weeded collection. I sound like I'm a library expert, but I'm not. Thanks to Linda, she's helping me learn and understand. But yeah, you'll see a lot of improvement, hopefully, as we get Damien up to speed with his new scope of responsibilities here at the entire campus. But he has hit the ground running, and we already feel, you know, his presence and his ability to really help, you know, manage and tackle some of these maintenance items. So thank you. So that completes a part of the report. The next section on page 11, as we move on, is our upcoming events as well as operational staff briefings. I will hand the report over to Linda.
So as you look through the upcoming events, some of the ones that I wanted to bring your attention to is Ecos de España. This is going to happen on a Saturday. We're really excited to have a music program here. And I also wanted to point out, you know, we have on November 10th, the fall wreaths. So that's quickly followed up by the pressed flower lanterns. And then down in December, there's the gingerbread house decorating that is for adults. These craft programs have been really popular and full. And the idea of doing so many craft heavy programs has actually been inspired by listening to the community and taking note of what people are interested in doing. So, you know, we're happy to serve, and we're happy that we're providing programs and services that people like and want to attend to.
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt, Linda, just because I'm going to give a plug. I'm doing a shout out to the Recreation Department or Division, excuse me. This Friday night, we have Trunk or Treat at Lacey Park. So please, everybody, mark your calendars. Please, you know, we would love everybody to attend. I know the library will have a booth. Okay, so the library will have a booth. And then we do have our very first movie night at the community center on the 4th, the following Saturday. So you see those bolded, highlighted areas. And then also Home for the Holidays in December on the 8th. So please mark your calendars. We would love to see everyone in attendance. And if you're ever interested in volunteering, we would love to have you. You can wear your badge so you know that you can represent the library board. And you can email me if you're interested in getting involved in any of these, or please just bring your families and join us. I'm sorry, Linda. Back to you for operational staff briefings.
So in our regularly scheduled program here, we have some of the programs that we held that were just really, they were well received, and we were so happy to see the response, community response. One of them was the Teddy Bear Clinic. You may have seen the write-up of this in the San Marino. Okay, yes. It was lovely. All the kids came in, and it really gave them an opportunity to be the doctor and to take control and learn and manage any anxiety. If any of you have had young children, shots are a thing, the fear is real, but they got to go through and become familiar with what that experience was like. And it was really, really lovely. And also I wanted to highlight that at our story times over the course of the month of September, we had 174 people attend those story times. And just as a reminder, story time is great. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of play for this age. Work is play and play is work. So all of these little things that they're doing, itsy bitsy spider and all that, it's really important because those finger plays, those develop fine motor skills that translates to reading and writing. So it's important work that's being done under this, this guise of a great family time. That's it. Does anyone have any questions?
Okay, I have a few more things. Page 15, top of page 15. We are currently working on our, this is under the marketing and communications section. So I do like to always let everybody know where we're at with that core marketing piece that we do, which is our activity guide. And we're in production for our winter guide. It's scheduled to arrive in mailboxes mid-December with registration beginning December 19th. Oftentimes, it'll arrive in your mailboxes even, and Kristen here is our staff project manager, first or second week in December. And oftentimes, if we can work ahead of schedule, it'll be a little bit early. And then the final report I would like to add that is not in writing here is this Friday, we will be taking a staff report to council requesting a closure of the library to support the foundation's Delicious Destinations event next year. I am so sorry. I'm going to have to ask Kristen the date of that event. Do you recall the closure request? We're trying to scramble to March
15.
in March. So we have to ask council if we can close the building. We need their approval, and we are asking for a Friday closure, Friday and Saturday for 2 days, where in the past we had only closed for 1 day, because it is quite an undertaking to transform the library into this beautifully decorated and interactive type stations and things for this really important fundraiser that the foundation has been spearheading for many years. So the Director Cindy Chan will be present on Friday morning at the council meeting. It is a consent item. So if council doesn't have any problem with it, it'll just be approved with all the other items. Or council may ask why, please tell us a little bit more about this fundraising event. And Cindy will be joining us. So hopefully that will, move through council. And then myself and Linda, as well as the rest of the staff, will continue to support the foundation in their planning efforts in preparation to bring this really important fundraiser back and planning for 2024. Wow. So that completes our report. If have any questions, Linda and I are here to field those at this time.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions from the board? No, it's really impressive the amount of events, especially in December. It seems like every other day is something to do, which is really, really special. And I think it does bring the community together during the time of the holidays. So thank you so much. I would like to open up the item for public comments. Does anyone here wish to speak at this time? If so, please state your name and address for the record. And seeing no one, do we have any public comment requests submitted electronically?
We do not.
At this time, I will bring the item back to the board for discussion. Do I have any comments, questions from the board? No. Okay. And there's no motion, right, for this?
Yes, there is. To receive files, so
You don't have to read the motion off for receive and file.
Okay.
So you can move on to the next item.
The 8th item on the agenda is the procurement of new integrated library system software for the library division. Can we please have a presentation from the library manager there?
So as you are aware, we have been looking to procure a new ILS, which an ILS stands for Integrated Library System. It's the backbone of all of our fundamental library service. So when you get a library card, your information is being entered into the ILS, and that's how we are able to know what items you've checked out and keep track of the inventory. So it's managing multiple items for us. We have been using a system called LibLime. We've had this since 2011, and it's based on open source software. So the value of open source is that it's highly customizable, and potentially you can do many, many things in there and make it suit your own specific needs. Unfortunately, you do need to have some familiarity with coding to really be able to do that, which as librarians, we are not trained in. So it requires a skill set that staff members are not expected to have. In addition to that customizable functions that we can't do. Even basic reports do require a little bit more reach. It's not like when you go online and you are clicking on things and setting something up and you have the drop down, you have to have tables and stuff, and you're running queries in a much more fundamental way. And so it's not intuitive and it's not user-friendly. So because of that, we have not been able to maximize our collection maintenance. And we're looking for something that'll be a little bit more user-friendly for the staff to serve the community, but also for community members to be able to use. So we gathered some quotes. We looked at products across the board, and we have settled on Apollo. So Apollo is the system that you will see being used in Monterey Park. It's being used in Alhambra, Sierra Madre, and Monrovia. So a lot of people have experience with it nearby, so it was really easy to sort of reach out and talk to people, see what they liked and didn't like, which was lovely. Another advantage of this system is that you will be able to see the items that these other libraries have. So while you won't be able to put a hold on it through it, you can sort of start that process of, well, if someone needs it for an assignment or it's your book club, whatever the need is, you'll be able to at a glance see these handful of libraries and what they have and don't have. So we are hoping that we will be able to get this implemented by July. I don't see a problem with that, but that's a good safe date. And yeah, I don't know if you guys have any questions about what this looks like, what this will mean for patron experiences.
Yeah, I was wondering, what does our neighbor city Pasadena, since they have a pretty decent size of a library system, what do they do?
I believe that they are using Horizon, which is a Circe Dynix product. Circe, in my experience, is their libraries, it's not one of the ILS systems that libraries are turning towards these days. It's one of the ones that is, it's not necessarily kept up with some of the technological advances. So I believe South Pass may also be using Horizon, and they are, no, wait, they're not. Yeah, some people are stuck with Circe.
Yeah, the reason I was asking is because I remember when my child was younger, our library system is relatively small. So often when we have needs, we tend to go to Pasadena system because they have a larger collection of material and physical aids close by. If we're able to see what they have on our system, I thought that would be pretty beneficial. That's the reason I was asking.
Yeah, no, it would be lovely, but many of the ILS systems, they're in an enclosed environment. So we'll be able to see the libraries that I mentioned, Alhambra, Monterey Park, Sierra Madre, and Monrovia, because we're all using the same system. So I don't know if you remember Pasadena and Glendale used to share a catalog. Yeah, I don't know if they still do, because I think Glendale went to a different catalog, but yeah, it's a closed environment, so that capacity we won't have.
I think it's such a great improvement to have a system that works and makes everyone's life easier, right? In terms of the type of work, the staff, and the time that this system sometimes consumes from the staff that we don't see, right? The behind the scenes work. And just wondering, the merge of the two systems, is it an easy process? Does it take like a long time to merge one and the other, or one day just the new one just appear?
Well, from the patron side, one day a new one will just appear, but the back end is much more complicated because, you know, I mentioned that open source, you're running these queries for these tables. An ILS in its simplest form is a relational database. So you have table, 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 you know, it's like as if you had many, many sheets in Excel, and then you were able to just pull whatever you wanted from each one of them and get a report whenever you wanted. So there's work that goes into connecting one table to another table to make it present properly. There's also time and care needs to be taken as you import this data, because while one ILS may refer to, let's say, collection codes, and you think, okay, well, collection code, but that's not actually the name that's running in the background. So you're having to map one set of data. You're translating is what you're doing. You're translating this table and whatever it is that you've called all of those containers, you know, whether it's title, author, all that stuff needs to then be scooted over into the other, and you need time to do it right. And I don't know if you've ever tried to transfer something even from like Excel into a PDF, and then it's all wonky looking. You know, you need to be able to fix it, and that's the background process.
I have just a couple of kind of closing comments in relation to this project. First, I want to acknowledge that Linda and her team have done a phenomenal job of researching and vetting these potential vendors, as well as analyzing what the needs are of our library today and what product is going to suit us best, you know, over the next 5 or 10 years. As we all know, technology changes very fast. They are the experts in the field of library management. And I have complete confidence that, you know, that they have they're putting forth a product that is really going to suit the need and the size of our library. The other resource that will be helping to manage the implementation is our IT, information technology. I was like, what does IT stand for? We say IT all the time and we use all these. Yeah, our information technology provider, and the company's name is Intelisys. So you will see their name mentioned in our report, but you might have said, well, who is now this Intelisys person? So the city has been contracting with them for several years now as our IT provider. So we have a representative, maybe one or two, from Intelisys who will walk alongside us and really guide that implementation as the technology experts for the city to ensure that, when we need to flip that switch, that, our library staff are not doing that piece of it. They will be managing that with us. So, and we will keep you apprised of when, that cutover or that software transition is going to happen, probably fourth quarter of next year. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is the fiscal impact and procurement review. If you have another on page 20 of the packet, this is also a collaborative project with our foundation. They have back last year when we were setting goals and objectives, they were in complete support of this technology upgrade and will be funding our first year procurement for this new software product. And we had budgeted 40,000, but we will come nowhere close to that. We didn't know at that point how much it was going to cost. So we kind of went high because we weren't really sure in terms of the actual software as well as any maybe hardware investment we might have needed to make. But we are pleased to report that we are going to come in first year hosting as well as the acquisition timeline. So are we looking at a total of around 14,000? Yeah, as I'm reading the chart. So we're coming in well under that, and that will make the foundation happy. But we want to thank them as well for supporting this. I know Cindy isn't here, but when we meet with them, we will also be giving them a similar update. So that completes our report. And any final questions and comments, again, Linda and I are here to answer those. Yes, there will be, and that's just ongoing business expense that we have been paying for anyway. So it will not be a significant impact to our operational budget. Yep. Yeah. It will be part of our ongoing operating request that we submit through the regular budget. Yep, because it's been an ongoing line item. We've paid that anyway. So, yep. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to open up the item for public comments. Does anyone here wish to speak at this time? If so, please state your name and address for the record. I'm seeing no one. Do we have any public comment requests submitted electronically?
Do not.
At this time, I will bring the item back to the board for discussion. Do I have any comments, questions from the board? Do we have any written communication or public writings for distribution?
Did you guys receive any mail from residents or anything?
No.
Okay, then we can move on.
Okay, well, this meeting is adjourned at 8:45 until the next meeting on November 27 at 8 a.m. in the bathroom. Thank you so much, guys.